In case you didn't know, it's English Wine Week, and it seems business is booming for vineyards here in the southeast. There are now more than 400 of them in England, but a vineyard right here in our region was the first to make organic wine.
Well, 25 years on, and Sedlescombe Organic Vineyard in East Sussex not only produces white wines, but has become the first to make red ones as well. So for the first in our new series of Meridan Country, Sue Kinnear has been to find out how it's done.
We look after the countryside, we drink wonderful wine, we give people wonderful wine to drink, and we just believe that quality is everything. We love it, we believe in it very strongly, passionately.
For Irma Cook, growing organic grapes to make organic wine isn't a job, it's a way of life. She and her husband now have 18 acres of vineyard in Sedlescombe and Bodiam, having planted just 1.5 acres 25 years ago. Then they were living in a caravan, trying to be self-sufficient.
I'd been running an organic garden, and so it was something that I realised could actually work, whereas back then a lot of people were pretty sceptical of it.
So had you had any experience of winemaking before?
Yeah, it was my hobby. In my self-sufficiency days, I used to make wine out of all kinds of things, beetroots, pea pods, anything really.
How restrictive is it growing organic wine? Because there must be an awful lot you can and can't do.
Well, there's about 10 winemaking aids or additives which can be used in conventional wines, which can't be used in organic wines. And then there's lower levels of other things like sulfur dioxide, which is used to stop wines going brown.
They produce up to 15,000 bottles of wine a year, 3 types of white, 2 sparkling, and this year for the first time a red and a rosé. One master of wine described Sedlescombe's organic wines as some of the most delicious English wines she had ever tasted. Italian wine expert Julian Pontecorvo agrees.
I would call it a medium, a lovely medium wine. This is much a gentle wine than a normal white wine would be.
Nope, no chance I'm spitting that out either.
Nice. Sweeter, slightly sparkling, just a little bit.
The dry white wine has won a major prize, judged the best in the country at the English Wine Festival, and their sales are growing steadily.
Because there are not many rosés that are dry, you get a lot of the sweeter ones, but you get a nice dry fruity one.
The Cook's wine is also being sold in 8 shops, at farmers' markets and in local pubs and restaurants. Their online sales are also growing. It's hoped the new red wine from the 2003 vintage will attract more recognition and sales. They're one of only 5 or 6 English vineyards to produce a red, and the only organic one.
I suppose it's a challenge, really. You want to beat the French at their own game. It's a much cleaner taste. You just taste the grapes, and I think it is much better for you.
It doesn't give you a hangover?
Less of a hangover. If you drink 2 bottles, you will still get a hangover. But there's less sulphur in it.
They work all year round, from the pruning through to bottling. There's no doubt making organic wine is hard, and the profits even harder to find. But they're breaking even, and perhaps more importantly, enjoying it.
When you're out here at 6 o'clock in the morning, pruning the vines, it all seems to make sense, you know. Peace and quiet, tranquility, out of the rat race. What more do you want?
Now, Phil, in the usual tradition of us having things here in the studio to try, I did put a request into the producer that we have some organic wine here. There's nothing here. And I have to say, they're a bit worried about you slurring your words, to be honest.
Well, Sangeeta says she's going to bring us back a can of Newton and Ridley each, so we're not going to go too thirsty. More up my street, yeah, very good. Meanwhile, let's have a quick look at the main stories here in the south.